Welcome to reality. You're now on the Code of Mind channel. There are kinds of knowledge that just sit in books, and there are kinds of knowledge that change people the moment they're spoken out loud. The second kind has always been hidden in closed archives, sewn into symbols, translated into dead languages, and labeled dangerous for the unprepared. We're used to thinking the main thing is the text, that the meaning is what's dangerous, but truly forbidden knowledge isn't only meaning. It's the sound code that meaning is wrapped in. A word isn't just a set of letters, it's vibration, rhythm, frequency. And if you assemble the sounds, the rhythm, and the repetition the right way, a person literally starts to resonate differently. That's why empires didn't fight only for territory. They fought for languages, prayers, anthems, mantras, for the phrases people repeat every day. Whoever controls sound controls the field. If you look at a chram as a device, it's a perfect amplifier of vibrations. High vaults and domes collect sound into a single point. Stone reflects the voice so it stretches and fills the entire space. Choirs sing on specific intervals, repeating the same phrases again and again. A person walks in just to light a candle. 10 minutes later, they're breathing in the same rhythm as everyone. Their heartbeat synchronizes with the collective field. Their brain shifts from chaotic everyday noise into slower, deeper waves. And all of it happens through sound. A prayer can be read silently, but generation after generation people were made to speak it and sing it, out loud, together, in a resonant space. Because a spoken word is no longer just an idea. It becomes a wave that rolls through every body, every cell, again and again. To understand why sound is so dangerous to the system, you only need one direction: cymatics. The experiments are simple. Sand or fine powder is poured onto a plate. A specific frequency is sent through the plate. The powder begins arranging itself into clear geometric patterns. Change the frequency. The pattern changes. Higher frequency, more complex geometry. Sometimes the structures look like mandalas, snowflakes, living kletka patterns. People did the same with water. Different frequencies form different structures, from chaos to almost perfect symmetry. The human being is mostly water. Every cell exists inside its own electrical and acoustic field, which means any sound you let in, a song, a mantra, a prayer, someone else's voice, leaves a pattern inside you. You may not see it, but you feel it. As an unexplainable travoga, as a sudden surge of strength, as a desire to act, or a desire to drop everything. That's why ancient cultures and civilizations paid so much attention to sound, and modern ones pretend it's just music and just words. If you strip away the religious shell, a prayer is a program written in the language of sound. It always contains a few elements: rhythm, to bring the brain into a specific state; repetition, to repeat the wave down to the level of the body; image, to give that wave a directed vector. Notice how many texts are built. Lord, have mercy. Dozens of repetitions. Slow, dragging rhythm. Ancient mantras are sung on the exhale, long, with an extended sound. That's not random. It's sound adapted to human physiology. And here's the most interesting part. Over time, many texts were shortened, changed, translated, so that not only the meaning changed, but the vibration changed too. Somewhere a direct statement of human power was removed. Somewhere a living word was replaced with a dry formula. Somewhere whole paragraphs were hidden in apocrypha, pushed out of the official canon. Why? Because some texts make a person dependent, guilty, weak, and others make a person collected, awake, and dangerous to the system. And it's much easier to say, this is how you're allowed to pray and this is not. These books are holy and these apocrypha, forget them. Than to admit honestly, yes, there is code in words. And some combinations raise your clarity, while others shut your power down with your own hands. When we hear the Vatican, we think of a chram, rituals, the Pope, stained glass. But there's also the Vatican's secret archive, a mnogo-kilometrove repository of manuscripts, documents, letters, research. You can't just walk in. Access requires special permission, and even then, only to certain sections, not everything. Over centuries, they gathered ancient manuscripts, early Christian texts, pagan materials, council protocols where they decided what people must not know and what they may. The official version says, it's just church history. But in fact, it's the history of what was cut out, the history of which meanings were declared dangerous. And there's one more crucial point. Language. Many texts were left in a language the ordinary person doesn't understand. Old Latin forms, specific terminology. What does that give the system? You can formally not hide the text, but if you can't read it out loud and live it, it remains dead paper. The real power isn't in what's written in tiny letters in an archive. The real power is in what is allowed to zvučet in a service for thousands of people every day. The question isn't what the Vatican hides. The question is which prayers they turn on for you, and which ones will never be spoken into a microphone. If sound affects the body, feelings, and consciousness, the next logical step is to use it as a tool to upravljat masami. And the system already does this, through music, through media, through phrases repeated on every corner. Some sounds stabilize, calm, open the heart. Others provoke aggression, возбуждение without direction, a feeling of emptiness and meaninglessness. That's why some frequencies and musical styles receive enormous support, while others are quietly pushed to the fringe and labeled strange, sectarian, dangerous. You don't even need a theory about forbidden hertz. You just need to look chestnut at reality. What sounds play non-stop in shopping malls, clubs, taxis? What words, mantras, prayers, and songs will never appear on official channels? Why does everything that brings a person into silence, inward, instantly get stamped esotericism, danger, heresy? It's not some specific tone that's forbidden. What's forbidden is a state in which you stop being controllable. If we drop the loud claims and keep only the essence, DNA is a carrier of information about form. Sound is a wave that can change the state of matter. Some researchers speak directly about the influence of sound and word on genetic processes. Official science is cautious, but even it recognizes this. Stress and emotions change the hormonal background. Hormones influence gene expression. The chronic phrase "you can't," "you're not able," "it's your fault," becomes real symptoms in the body. And even if we don't go into the depths of wave genetics, one fact remains. The phrase "I can't do anything" and the phrase "I have the right to be myself" are two different programs. They trigger two different chains of reactions in the body. Every day you either program yourself with a random set of words, or you begin consciously writing your code, a sound code. The secret isn't to find one forbidden mantra or one correct prayer. The secret is to understand. Any text you repeat, any music you keep in the background, any sound that becomes a habit, that is already your personal sound protocol with the matrix. So be careful with what sounds in your home. Notice which words you repeat most often. Don't be afraid to create your own prayers, not religious, but vibrational. Ones that contain your I am, your choice, your power. Forbidden knowledge isn't only documents in a closed archive. It's the human ability to use their voice and sound consciously. As long as you stay silent and only repeat what you're given, you're part of a choir singing someone else's program. The moment you start hearing what zvučet inside and outside you, you move to another level of the game. And that is exactly the kind of player any system fears. Thanks for being here on the channel. See you in the next video. Bye, everyone.